you. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
All right. Yeah, we're live now. All right, good. So, everyone, I'm sitting here talking to Elizabeth Duensing, and we're sitting here, and we're just time is going by, and I'm like, I should hit record and let people watch this. We wanted to get on here because I wanted to show you some more evidence of people healing and what their journey is like. So, Elizabeth is a member of Minding Your Soul. So, if you have any questions, you can just go right into the group and ask her. And I just wanted to really ask some questions for people to understand, like what you did, how you did it. So let's start off with, how did you find the group and what made you join? Because some people, sorry, Elizabeth, some people, when they hear healing naturally from MS, they're like, ugh, what are you talking about? There's no such thing. That's not possible. So what made you go, I wonder, what this is all about?
Because I know it's possible. I've known it for years. I was like, no, this can happen. And I've told everybody for way too many years without being successful, you just watch, I will heal myself. This is not gonna put me in a wheelchair. I'm not having it. Just watch. Well, I've tried everything under the sun to no avail. So every time I try something, I think, I'm not trying anything else. That's the last thing. Okay, that's it. Spent too much money, been taken too many times, blah, blah, blah. How I found you, I have no idea.
Most people say that.
I don't know where you came from.
Yeah.
And the name of your website, Minding Your Soul, didn't say MS to me, I was like, well, I don't know, but I'll go in there. And in fact, I think one of the questions to join the page, I was so stupid. It was like, what types of things do you want to hear about? And I was like, well, I have MS, so I'd like to hear about that. Well, I had no idea the whole site was related to MS. So now I thought, no, God, that was a stupid answer, idiot. And I think I went to try to find it and delete it. I don't know if I ever did.
Oh no, I just use that for ideas for content. Like, what do people want to know? So I'm like, all right, MS is actually an easy one for me. So I'm like, it's all related to MS, so she's good. So yeah, no, it's fine.
But I don't know where your name came from. I've thought and thought and thought, and I just don't know.
No, that's awesome. And a lot of people say that. And I feel like most people are led here by like an intuition. Something very strong is leading them here because they're the kind of people who are, or just like you, I just wrote it down and I said, watch, I will heal myself. You have to first believe that you can. And then everything falls into place. Like if you notice, when you say I am going to do something and you make that declaration, like the stuff just falls in your path in order to do it. So, and that's why I didn't want to name my group anything having to do with multiple sclerosis, because it's just a virus, right? It's just a virus. It's just a name given to the collection of symptoms that we experience when our virus is in our liver and our spleen. If that same virus went over to our thyroid, we'd have thyroidism. So it's a little easier now to talk to people about that since Matt Embry and everybody else is now talking about the Epstein-Barr virus.
Yes.
But back in the day, it was hard to convince people. But I also named it Minding Your Soul because I believe you have to mind all the matters of your soul in order to heal. It's not just physical, right? It's on all the levels, which is why we work with Catherine. So anyway, so why don't you tell us about where your symptoms were when you found the group, and then a little bit about what you did and the differences that you've already noticed.
Okay. So around October, well, my mother-in-law had had a stroke. So she had been in the hospital for 3 months. She passed away in October.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. The stress from that was just incredible. And my health just went. So my right side is mostly affected. But then during her stroke stuff, my left side started getting weak. So it turned out that my good side was now my bad side. So my weak side was now better than this side. And I was like, oh, crap. So my walking was terrible. I was using a walker, and which I was before, but I was relying on it for everything in December through Christmas and everything. Like I couldn't cook in the kitchen. I couldn't go from the stove to the refrigerator without my walker. I couldn't turn around without getting dizzy and going, oh my God. So
Wow.
if somebody's scared behind me, like, hey, Beth, and I turn around real quick, I would just go, oh, shit,
Wow.
don't do
Wow.
that to me. And put a
Yeah.
bell on. Don't surprise me. And bending over and picking something up off the floor. No, I'm not doing that because I'll just keep going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Look
Mhm.
up. I didn't look up or look to the side. I had to turn my whole self and hold on to everything. So my mobility was pretty crappy. And I wasn't in a wheelchair, but I was probably quickly headed that way. And I think I talked to you. It was the week of my birthday, which was December 16th. So mid-December, I talked to you. And after Christmas, okay, the beginning of January, I wrote it down. I think it was January 2nd, I started the celery juice. Because after I talked to you, I'm like, oh, she's doing the medical medium thing. Well, I had his book for years, over 5 years, and I just resisted it. And I've had other people tell me, why don't you check out the medical medium? I have every one of his books, even the thyroid. I don't have thyroid problems, but I got it anyway because I wanted to know all about this. Where they're so thick and my cognitive function, I would read the same thing over and over and still not put it together. I don't know what's going on. I cannot figure this out. I cannot do this. I need someone. I've got to hire somebody to read these books. I need anyway, condensed version. Well, I found you. I don't
I
know
was
how.
gonna say that's basically what Minding Your Soul is, the condensed version. Because man, that man can talk. You watch
Yeah,
his lives, and he's all over the place. We love him dearly. Let's just put that disclaimer in. But man, he's annoying.
you're
So
like,
good.
it's like, come on.
Yeah,
What's the recipe? Give me the recipe.
yeah. Get to the
Reminds
point.
reminds me of the recipes you look up online, and they got to tell you where it came from and who all they fed it to, and you're like, where is the recipe?
Now they are just now putting that button, jump to
Jump to
recipe.
recipe.
Right? Thank God. Because I'm like, why do I need the life story? Please just get me to, and then you can't find it because it's so far down. You're just scrolling. Yeah, that's
I
funny.
know. It's like your Aunt Margaret created it back in 1902. You're like, I don't care.
Dude, what are the ingredients? Just tell me. Yes.
So that's what I was looking for. Just tell me the ingredients. Give me the recipe. Well, you started me off and said, well, you're doing that. You said I'm doing the medical medium stuff. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. That's what I want to hear. And you gave me the quickie, celery juice and lemon water. And then later came the heavy metal detox shake. And so I started January 2nd, I believe. And I did it for 2 weeks. I did celery juice for 2 weeks. Of course, I'm expecting nothing. I'm thinking, because you told me you were in it within a year, you were pretty much free of your symptoms. So I'm thinking, calculate, well, I got a good year ahead of me before and I thought, well, 3 months. I'll give it 3 months and then surely I'll see something, a mild change. Well, 2 weeks in, I'm like, well, I'm going to add the heavy metal detox. So I did that for 2 more weeks. Well, then I found out about the egg-free, dairy-free thing. Well, egg-free I can do fine, but dairy-free cheese? Oh my gosh. It's like, I can't do this. I can't do it. I can totally do it. It's not that hard. It's no
It's
big
awful.
deal. But
You got to
I,
find the right products. Otherwise, it's awful.
and that's what's great about your site because you get the people's experiences. This is the best cheese. So I've got lucky. I'm finding good cheese, the sour cream. That's great. And I love Mexican food, and that's all
Me too.
cheese and lots of dairy
Yep.
and lots of gluten too. Those flour tortillas. Well, I've got to make corn tortillas. Well, I got to stay away from corn. What do I do? Well, whatever. I'll work it out. I just won't have tortillas. But it's so much easier than I thought. And I think when I relaxed and just let it happen and quit fighting it and quit worrying about it, well, things started happening. And I drove a car. So like 5 weeks in, we were going somewhere and I was waiting on the driver and she was taking a little too long and I picked up my keys and I thought, I'm gonna put my top down in the convertible and I'm gonna go to the store. I was going to Walgreens for a COVID test. And it's only like a minute up the road. But I was gonna drive there And I thought, I can't drive. And I thought, the hell, I'm going to drive. I can drive. I feel like I can drive. I just feel like it. So Cherry comes in. She goes, what are you doing with the keys? Give me the keys. I was like, no, I'm driving. She's like, no, you're not. She said, well, I'm not riding with you. I said, I don't care. And then she goes, no, wait, I'm going with you because you can't drive. I drove to Walgreens and thought nothing of it. I didn't freak out. Because usually when I get on the road, I'm like, I don't make it past the exit of the neighborhood because I see other cars going by and I just panic. I'm like,
Yeah, the panic sets in, like, I can't do this. What am I doing? Yeah.
my anxiety on the road was just horrific. And that's when I quit driving because I'm like, I'm going to kill somebody. I got to stop. I pulled out of the neighborhood, went through stopped at the stoplight, and my drop foot's really bad. And that's really another reason I can't drive. But I picked my foot up and put it on the brake, and I'm like, look at me. And we didn't really talk about it on the way to the store. We did my swab thing, got my results, went back home, got out of the car, and we both were like, oh my God.
Aww.
And then I'm crying and go, I drove the car. So then we went for a walk in front of the house on the sidewalk without my walker. And I don't do that, especially on aggregate, because I always say if I fall out here, we're screwed. We got to wait for the crane to come lift my butt up off the floor because I can't even get up. But I just holding hands, not even holding on, just holding somebody's hand just for leverage. And I walked in front of my house, and the neighbors are thinking I'm insane because I'm screaming and going, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. This is like, oh, I'm crying and screaming. And I wasn't jumping down because I wasn't that secure yet. But I was going, this is so fantastic. So we get back inside from all the hoopla, and we just had a big praise party all day long. It was like I couldn't believe the things I was doing. I was turning around, and I'm like, I think something's wrong. What am I doing? Because it's way too soon to be doing this. Because it's like I'm going to get in trouble. Because this is not.
No, that's how. I know, it's amazing how quickly the body responds. It really is. It shocked the shit out of me. It's just when you give the body what it needs and stop giving it what it doesn't need, what's making it sick. All we have to do is starve the virus, kill the virus, and detox it out. And your body goes, whew, I can do this. So you're finally giving your immune system some help, and it really repays you tenfold. And isn't it amazing how people take walking down the neighborhood, downtown, they just take walking for granted. Yes. As if, right? And then our ability to walk, the simple things get taken away from us. And then once we experience walking again, you'll never take it for granted again. It's been over 10 years for me. And when I'm jogging down my Bridge Avenue, my street that I jog down when I'm not 9 months pregnant. But when I'm jogging, I still to this day go, oh my God, I'm running. Like I'm doing it. And I feel like I'm flying. And I don't think that feeling's ever going to go away. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. Somebody needed something the other day and nobody wanted to go get it. And I thought, well, aren't y'all just some spoiled little ungrateful hussies? And I stood up, I said, I'll go get it. And they said, sit down, we'll go get it. I'm like, no, I'm going to go get it because I can.
Because I can. Exactly. Oh, you're bringing me back. Somebody said, like, why did you go for a run today? The weather's awful. It was cold. Like, why did you do it? And they like, you really felt like it? And I'm like, no, I did it because I can. And when I'm doing it in that kind of weather, I'm thinking about all the people who can't do it. And then that just makes me so grateful. And then I don't even think about the weather anymore. So yeah, that gratitude will never go away. You will always be grateful because you will never forget those times when you couldn't walk, when you couldn't drive. Those feelings, I don't think ever go away.
I don't think the driving will ever go away because, I mean, it's been almost in August, it'll be 3 years since I've driven a car. Except I did drive. That's the only time I've driven. I've only driven once. So I don't know if I can do it again, but sure I can do it again. I just haven't had enough.
And the healing, it just keeps happening. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And the body just keeps getting stronger and stronger. I always use the analogy of a cleaning person. When you have a cleaning person coming into your house, and let's say he or she only comes for 10 minutes every day, right? They're really not going to get that much done. It's 10 minutes, especially if you and your family are messing it up as soon as they leave for the rest of the day. Then that person comes in the next day, has 10 minutes, and probably just does like a surface clean. But if you give your body what it needs, if you keep your house clean throughout the day, when that cleaning person comes in, which is that celery juice, the heavy metal detox smoothie, they can go and clean the tub, and clean out the closets and get so much more done because you've kept the surfaces clean. And so I feel like every time we drink the celery juice, the lemon water, the heavy metal smoothie, we're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into our bodies. And I still find, I can't believe I'm 9 months pregnant at 44 years old and feel this good, and people are always like, oh, you must be so high risk. And I'm like, yeah, my doctors call me high risk, but they're also amazed at how good I feel and my energy level. So there's so much more in store for you. You're only at this, a month and 2 weeks? That's it.
Yeah.
And look how good you're feeling already.
I know. And there's more. I mean, I could go on.
Go on, please.
The little things I could just go on. I
love that. If you didn't do that, I was going to ask you to do it. Exactly. So explain to people why it is so liberating to do that.
I was going to use it as my sign off and go, bye.
You should. Absolutely. We're doing it now. Now we're doing it.
Now we're talking about this.
Yeah.
I don't really have a great need for this because I have another finger, and I didn't do it a whole lot anyway, but I couldn't lift my middle finger. And I discovered that one day talking to my father, shooting my father a bird. I broke my finger when I was little, and he told me, he was all, you'll be okay. No, you're not going to the doctor. Well, my finger is fatter than the other fingers because he didn't do anything about it. So I said, look what you did to me. And I went like that, and my finger wouldn't come out. I was like, ugh. So I haven't been able to shoot a bird in probably 10 years, Jeanene. It's probably been 10 years. Well, my finger
look at me now.
And yeah, I can tell everybody what I think now. It's like, MS, I can tell you exactly what I think of you.
So how quickly after you started the protocol, like January 2nd, I know you started it. When was the first time that you noticed that the bird could be shot?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It probably a month. Well, gosh, I don't remember.
Well, it's only been 6 or 7 weeks, so
maybe 4 weeks in.
You're 4 weeks in, yeah.
So when I cut out dairy and eggs, things really started happening.
And you had been gluten-free before this, right?
Yes, but not as strict as I am now. Now I'm like checking everything. It's like, give me that ketchup. What's in it?
Yeah, I'm so glad. That's another great point for you to bring up and talk about, because people, including myself, I was always told anything in moderation is okay, right? Even the bad stuff, everything in moderation is okay. And I still believe that, but not when it comes to gluten, because we're trying to kill this virus that is causing all these symptoms inside of us. The tiniest bit, the medical medium says the eighth of a thumbnail size of gluten. I always say a crouton. Picture a crouton, a little bit bigger. That is enough to feed the virus, to allow it to replicate, proliferate, and go through your body and create more symptoms. I don't know if dairy or eggs have the same power. We know that they feed viruses, all viruses, including Epstein-Barr. But I know that the tiniest bit, at least for me and my clients, the tiniest bit of gluten is going to feed the virus enough to cause symptoms. And then we know that the Epstein-Barr virus has a 6-week lifespan. So now you fed the virus, it's proliferated inside your body. It has a 6-week lifespan. So now you're set back 6 weeks from the one fucking crouton that you ate.
And it's
You're
still
back
not
6
worth
weeks. It's so not worth it.
it.
No, because nothing tastes as good as being able to do this and
Yes.
drive a car.
Yes. I can drive a car and I can flip that person off that pulled out in
And
front of me.
flip them off while you're driving it. Nothing
Yes.
tastes that good. So
And
that's why the tiniest bit of gluten is not worth it, because it will set you back.
I was doing the tiniest bit of gluten. Won't hurt me. That crouton is not going to hurt me in one bite.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't seem logical that a crouton could take you down.
Right. And everybody I was around and would eat with, they were of the same mindset. You can have that. It's not just one. Just have a bite. Here, we'll just taste it.
Right.
It's really good. I just want you to taste it. And I would. I can
Of
convince
course.
myself anything's okay if I want it,
Right. Exactly. No, we can't. And then, so we're set back the 6 weeks. But then, as we're learning now a lot with COVID, it's coming to light. It even takes the body a few weeks to get out the dead corpse of the virus. So even though the virus only lives for 6 weeks, it's now let's say a dead corpse of a virus, and it takes a couple weeks to get out of your body. Excuse me. So when my husband had COVID, the doctor said, don't expect to get a negative test even well after your symptoms are gone, because it takes a long time for your body to release that. And it's the same thing with the Epstein-Barr virus. So the corpse of the virus is also a neurotoxin and a dermatoxin. So you're also going to get symptoms from that as well. Yeah, you're itching just thinking about it, right?
My neck started itching and my
Yep.
arm right. I'm like, what is this? And I don't know if you can see it, but something here that just flared. I got some steroid cream to put on. I had to go to the doctor for it. I didn't know what it was. Then I started on my other arm at the same place. And I'm like, what is going on with me? Well, I cut back on the heavy metal detox shakes and things started clearing up. But something happened with that heavy metal detox and started just like.
Oh, yeah.
My face
it was awful. Yes.
I'm 50 years old. My face was breaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I thought the same thing. I'm too old for pimples. Why are you kidding me? When I started the heavy metal detox, it whiteheads all over, especially my chest, my forehead, my shoulders. I was ugly for weeks. It was awful. And
red,
God,
it didn't break out in zits really. Oh, I don't know what would have come to, but just like red, I don't know, hives almost. Itchy.
And that's what a lot of people get. A lot of people just get that, which is ugly in itself. None of this is good stuff. Those dermatoxins, it itches. It's bad. What was I going to say? Oh, so the last time I glutenized myself, I call it glutenization. I don't think that's a word, but last time I ate gluten, yeah, it was potato chips, and it was only 3 potato chips. Now I'm getting a lot better. Over the years, I would glutenize myself a couple times a year on accident, and it had been a really long time. So here I am. My husband he hands me this bag of potato chips. He's like, "These are so good. You got to try this new flavor." And I did. I was on the 3rd one before he's like, "Oh my God, love, I'm so sorry. There was gluten in the ingredient statement." So of course I'm crying. I know. It was awful. Like, normally I trust him because he'll never give me food without checking, but you have those times, like it happens. So, I'm crying my eyes out, panic attack. Oh my God, I'm going down. And this was last summer. The only thing that I got the next morning, I started itching my arm like crazy when I woke up. And then it broke out into a rash, a really weird, like oozing rash. And that's the only symptom that I got. So I'm wondering if down the road, we continue to kill this virus. Let's say those 3 potato chips were able to feed it, but my immune system, being as strong as it is, went, nope, oh no. And it killed it. Flushed it right out, because I drank 32 ounces of celery juice right after those potato chips. I doused myself with it. So I don't know, we're our own guinea pigs, but yeah, those dermatoxins, like, our skin is designed to get rid of all of our toxins. So whether it's a heavy metal that's coming out of us or the corpse of the virus, we don't know, but it's a really great sign to see
Yeah.
like it actually coming out and working, right?
That's I try to tell myself. Well, I do tell myself this is good. This is probably
Yeah,
just from the detox thing because I don't have any physical detox symptoms. Like I don't feel bad,
good.
and I'm not sick. I'm not nauseated. I mean, I'm good. So I think, oh, I don't really have detox symptoms. Well, they're coming out other ways. Emotionally, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm such a big. It's like
Mhm.
it's the metals. I'm blaming it on that. It's the metals. It's not me. You know, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Help it. And the skin thing, I'm like, it's the metals or whatever it is coming out, and it's a good thing. I just
Yeah.
look weird and it's itchy and gross, but it's good.
Yeah, and that's what we have to keep telling ourselves, and that's why it's nice when we're doing the group coaching together because you can hear everyone else going, "Oh yeah, I got this," and "Oh yeah, I got that," and then you're like, "Oh, oh," and your mind is like, "Oh, this is normal. This is a good
Yeah.
thing." Because it's really hard, especially in the beginning when you're going off of blind faith. You really don't know, and you do start to feel worse sometimes before you feel better, right? Just like with the breaking out, and you're wondering, like, am I making myself worse? Because you're never gonna. Well, I don't know if never, but I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a neurologist who says that you can heal yourself with food. They're all saying, shoot yourself up every day with terrible drugs, and let's hope for the best. So when you're going against all your doctors and you're listening to, the medical medium who talks to spirits or some chick on Facebook who says she healed herself,
Yeah.
like you don't know if you're doing the right thing. So it does help to hear other people say they're going through the same thing.
Yeah. And not think, because there was a time I thought, well, maybe I'm allergic to celery juice all of a sudden. Maybe I'm drinking too much of it. Maybe it's causing this. God, I hope not, because I think this is the key. But
Right.
talk myself down from the ledge. Just like, okay, don't stop drinking the celery juice. It's okay. It's like, okay. But
I
then it
use
goes,
the same
maybe it's
I use the
blueberries.
same terminology to talk myself down a ledge. Yes, perfect.
Just go from
And then
one
the
thing
blueberries.
that. Okay, it's not that. Maybe I'm allergic to blueberries and the heavy metal thing. Maybe I'm allergic to everything. So I
Right.
stopped everything, took a break, but then I missed it. Then I started not feeling as good. So I just started the heavy metal detox again last night because I miss it, and I like it, and it's weird. And I
No,
like
it's
the celery
delicious.
juice. It's like, and I like celery juice. I'm like, okay, this is weird, but okay, I'm liking it. Crazy. Oh, what happened? Something I meant to tell you.
Go ahead.
Oh, the bathtub. I haven't taken a bath also in 3 years, almost 3 years, and I haven't taken one because I can't get my fat butt out of the tub. And I
That's how I feel right now.
yes, and I'm not pregnant though. It's like I can't lift myself up.
Yep.
And I wouldn't take a bath. I was like, I don't want to have to call the fire department to come get me. I couldn't even get out with help, and that's
Yep.
how stuck I was. I'm like, oh, this is. And when I got out, I'm like, okay, I'm never, ever, ever doing this again. I
Yeah,
was
it was like me in
exhausted.
the recliner the other day. I couldn't get myself out of the damn recliner. I reclined too far back, and it took 2 men to get me out. So I hear you.
Just never doing it
So tell me,
again.
go ahead.
It's too exhausting and it's too embarrassing, and I'm just never doing it again. Well,
Yes.
something got into me one night, and it was 11:30 at night. I got in the tub, and I didn't get out until like 1:30, and that water never got hot. This is like divine intervention. That I mean, never. I'm sorry, never got cold. You just sit
Oh,
in the
okay,
tub,
good.
and you have to heat the water up every now and then.
Yeah.
The temperature never changed. When I got out, I'm like, why am I still in hot water? But and I was getting out, and I thought, okay, here's the test here. Now I'm in here. I did this to myself. I better get out. I just grabbed on the side of the tub, and I stood up. I'm like, oh, no
Oh,
way.
oh
No
my God.
effing way. I stood up. And I think I
All
told
by
you,
yourself.
like Jesus rising from the dead. Just like,
Rising from the dead. Here I am.
and I heard, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So 1:30 in the morning, I woke my wife up and said, how can you sleep at a time like this? Get up. And I'm beating on her, going, get up, get up, get up, get up. I just got out the tub. She's like, oh my
Oh my
God, this better be good.
God.
I said, it's more than good. I took a bath. Oh my gosh.
You relaxed your whole body and you still had the strength to get up out of the water because normally you feel so heavy getting out of that water.
And I had 2 glasses of wine while I was in there. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
wow.
a glass and a half.
Oh,
Which
wow.
on the celery juice stuff and this juicing stuff, I can't drink anymore. I mean, I just take some wine and I'm like, woo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it really hits you. It really hits you. But
It,
yeah, it's wonderful that you can still have wine. Wine is gluten-free, right?
yeah,
Um, yeah, and so many people think you can't have alcohol or sugar. Alcohol and sugar, although they inflame the shit out of your body, you don't want to do it every day, all day. It doesn't feed the virus. So, it's absolutely wonderful how easy it is to heal our bodies and like these little things that people take for granted, like getting out of the tub,
that was
you
amazing.
know? And here you are, just one thing after another, doing these things that you might have thought you weren't able to do ever again, but you listen to your intuition. You're very intuitive. Um, it's just amazing to listen to you say, "Oh, hell no. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to get in the bathtub, even though the entire house is asleep. And God forbid something happened to me. What am I going to do? I'll figure it out." I think there was something inside of you that knew you were going to be okay and you had the strength to do it now.
I can do this. I can do this. And I had COVID at the time,
Oh, yeah,
recovering.
that's right.
And yes, I was feeling better by that time, the tub. But like as you said, it takes weeks for it to actually go before you're actually feeling good. I'm feeling good now, finally,
Yeah.
after a month of it. But at the time when I took the bath, it was probably the second day of feeling better that I got in the tub. So, coming off of COVID, a glass and a half of wine, hot water for 2 hours in hot water. And yeah, I just freaking stood up. Just like, there's something wrong with me. And I felt, for that moment, I felt normal. I'm like, oh my God, this is what people do.
Without even thinking about it, this is what people do. And that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to keep you going. Because so many people, who are on the fence are like, but do I have to be gluten free for the rest of my life? I have to live like that. And it's hard to tell them that, yeah, you are,
Easy.
but you're not going to mind. Right? Like you're not going to mind being gluten free. You're going to find your comfort foods and what tastes good. Just like if you can find a good cheese, you can find anything gluten free that tastes good. And
If you
then,
can find those fig Snickers, I made
oh,
a batch last night. I was like, I need to take a picture of this and send it to Jeanene. This is your fault. They are so good.
seriously, they're so good. I was funny because I was doing a gluten-free Zoom last week where the cheesecake crust was dates and pecans. And I was like, I'm not using my dates. I'm going to cover them in chocolate and peanut butter and eat them. I'm not using my dates.
They're good. I'm taking them on
Yeah.
vacation. I'm already
Yeah.
plotting. I'm freezing them, and then I'm taking a little padded cooler thing with an ice pack in it, and taking my Snickers bars because I can't live without them now. Thank you, Jeanene.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Your ass and your thighs are not going to thank me, but man, they are so good. They're
They are
so
so
good and they're so necessary. We need those comfort foods. And we can't go to the store and just pick up a Snickers bar, but
right.
we can pick up the ones that we make ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, easily back and forth. I
So
can walk. I can walk back and forth to the refrigerator now and get.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to put this talk of ours on the website. It's going to go in the group because I want to continue building the library of evidence that your body can heal. So I wanted to ask you, people who are going to be watching you right now, you and I right now, they're probably going to be those people who are on the fence, who are looking for evidence that it heals. What would you say to somebody who is of the mindset that their body is attacking themselves and they can't heal, and they're kind of stuck, they can't take a bath, they can't walk, they can't drive, they're bedridden, and they're afraid to go against what their doctors are saying? You remember being in that place where you're like, I'm
Yeah,
stuck, this is it, right? This is just me for the rest of my life, I have no choices.
yeah.
What do you want to say to them, because they're the ones who are going to be watching this?
I'm gonna say, try it, right? Prove to me you can't heal. You prove to me you cannot. Because I am proving to you that you can do it. You prove me wrong. Give it 3 months. Tell me you can't heal after that 3 months, that you don't see any improvements. And it makes me so sad that it's like, listen, people, it works. It may not work immediately. You may have to do this for a few weeks or a few months before you see it, but oh my God, it's so worth it. Driving that car to Walgreens to get a COVID test was the best day of my life.
Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Yes.
It wasn't my wedding day that was the best day of my life. It wasn't my 50th birthday or whatever. It was driving that car. Oh my gosh. I never liked to drive that much, but I do now.
Right. Right. Being told that you can't drive anymore. Oh my God,
Yeah.
how awful is that? Not even being able to take a bath or take a walk, and hold your husband's or your wife's hand. Just
Yes.
stuff like the simple things.
I can go across the street to the grocery store when I run out of celery instead of having to ask someone, can you please go get me some celery? I don't have any lemons. Can you get it? Constantly asking for things of other people and making a list because I don't want to ask them and saving it up and hitting them with that. Here, I said, made a list all at once. Do these things for me, please. Now I can see that I'll be able to do it myself. And it's exhilarating. It's like, I have hope. I have a future. I didn't have a future. Don't make me cry.
Ah, do it, cry. Get it
Y'all know
out.
what I'm talking about. I don't have plans. I don't make long-term plans. It's like, where do you want to move? You want to move out of Nashville. Where do you want to move to? I'm like, I don't care. What difference does it make? Can't do anything when I get there. Can't explore a new city anyway. So now I'm good staying here. Well, not anymore. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. I can't do everything yet, but I will be. Just give me a minute. It's coming. And I strongly believe that I know it will. I know it's going to come.
Yeah.
And it's every day, I can say, every single day for the past 2 weeks at least, I'm noticing stuff. I'm doing things that I haven't done in years. And it may just be picking up a pencil. Oh, I ate with my right hand. I haven't eaten with my right hand in probably a year. Probably. And because
Wow.
it's just easier to eat with my bad hand, my left hand, which is crazy. Well, other night at dinner, I was cutting, and I wasn't just eating, I was cutting something with my fork. And I went, and looked up and said, oh my God. And everybody looked at me and said, what? I said, I just cut that with my right hand. And only one person knows that I don't eat with my right hand. And they were like, do it again. And I was like, well, now I'm on camera, so the pressure's on. I don't want to do it, but I did it. And it was just the small things. Every single day, something is happening. I turn around the kitchen and go from the stove to the refrigerator to get something out, and then realize when I get back, oh my gosh, I didn't touch anything on the way. I wasn't holding on. I did it. And I carried things under my arm, and I had too much. And I know I was the one thing at a time person because I can't carry things. I carried my plate from the stove to the table. I can't tell you when I've carried a plate of food anywhere. I carried the plate and the glass of water to the table, and I went, oh my God. So these things, these are small, but they're so huge
Yes.
because they were taken away. They were just all taken away from me. Well, now
And
I'm
you were
getting them
given
back.
no hope. And look at you flipping people off like that. Like, not even think about it.
I'm getting them all back. Ha ha ha.
Do yourself a favor and write this down. Write all of these things down because I have forgotten so much. And now that I'm pregnant and this big, I'll give you an example. A memory came back to me just the other day. When things drop now on the floor, when I drop something, it requires so much energy for me to bend over and pick it up because my stomach is so huge. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. Let my husband get it. Things drop. I'm like, well, now it's staying there.
It's not
And I
that important.
remember, it's not that important. It'll stay there. Someone will find it. It's fine. or but I remembered only through now when I was sick, when I was paralyzed in my arms and my legs, or if I was wall walking, holding onto the wall, getting to room, I would drop something. I'd be like, oh, all right, well, I don't need that. Just keep going. I'll get it later. And I remembered after I got healthy, I would drop something and go, oh, and pick it up and go, oh my God. Like I the energy, like those little tiny things of dropping something and picking it up and being able to clean up, right? You make a meal and then, or not even a meal, you just prepare some food. You're too exhausted to clean it up. And then you're like, well, I don't even want to cook anymore or make something because then I got to ask somebody to clean it up and I just look like I'm lazy. And it's all these little things that you don't remember, and you just start taking for granted. So I wish I would have written them down. So do yourself a favor, because you're going to keep getting better, and those little things like flipping somebody off, you're going to take it for granted, and you're going to forget how amazing it was that first time. So write it down, start a journal. It doesn't have to be fancy, but I wish I did it.
Okay, I have been. I'm proud of myself. I do not journal. I have tried to journal. I still try. I suck. But I actually know when I started the juice. I know when I started the heavy metal detox, and I know when I started the dairy free gluten. I was like, I went back down in my calendar. I was like, oh my God, I've made notes. Didn't even realize I made notes. Wow. But yeah, you're right. I didn't make notes about every little detail. I should do it every day, because every day there is something wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. And eventually they're just going to become second nature, and you're going to forget about how wonderful they are, but you'll have more wonderful things. And it really like sets our tone, and is like an affirmation almost to the universe, to God, saying thank you. When we write it down and say, oh my God, I did this today. You know what? The neighbor pissed me off and I went like that and I didn't think about it. Even if it's something like that, whatever.
Oh,
exactly.
stop. I can pee now. And I'm so thankful every time I go to the bathroom. First thing when it starts going. Okay, so back up. I couldn't pee. I mean, I didn't have to self-cath or anything, but I was this close to it.
Yeah.
I had to think about it. I had to strain a little bit. I needed a lot of help. I was on medication for it, which I totally quit taking medication because now I don't need it. Now I go to the bathroom, and guess what? I go to the bathroom.
Yes. Let's tell people why that happens. Those bladder issues clear up really quickly. The Epstein-Barr virus is the virus we're killing when we have MS or any autoimmune disease, right? One of the cofactors of the Epstein-Barr virus is the Streptococcus virus. Strep throat is what we're familiar calling it. So that Streptococcus virus is either going to travel north or south, and then it stays there. If it travels north, you get strep throat all the time. Tonsils are probably taken out when you were a kid, sinus infections. When it travels south, it's bladder and kidney stones. So bladder infections. As you are getting better and killing the virus is now out of your bladder. It's out. You're killing it. Your immune system is finding it and able to get it out of your body. So little by little, all of these things are going to start just going away.
And the bowels too. And yes. I hate to be gross, but
no, we talk about poop all the time in my group. So go ahead.
Good. The poop is just great. It's fabulous.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's not gross. It's not. I'm not having to run to the bathroom because I had to poop yesterday, and it's just now telling me, And I'm not running. I was peeing like maybe twice a day before, and my ankles were always swollen, and I didn't know why. But a naturopath doctor told me why they were swollen, because your pee goes into all your tissue, and yeah, you're going to swell up. It's got to go somewhere. Right. I thought it just sat in the bladder. Anyway, I don't know the ins and outs of that. I just know I was swollen all the time. I have ankles again. I look down like, I forgot what those look like. I have bones down there. That's exciting. And so every time when I go to pee, I look down at my ankles and I'm like, this is so wonderful. And thank you, God. Thank you for letting me pee.
Exactly. Another thing, like we take for granted. We go to the bathroom, we're like, oh, no big deal. But really, our pee and our poop is so important to the quality of our life. Yeah. And who knew that the ankles were related to that? It's amazing. You started this January 2nd. And as many people as I work with who start seeing immediate results, I'm still amazed. I'm still amazed at how quickly the body responds and can heal, because we've been told for how long that it's hopeless. This is MS. I used to joke all the time and say I could go to my neurologist and tell him my eyes are bleeding. Look, they're bleeding. I'm hemorrhaging from my eyeballs. And he'd go, well, Jeanene, you do have MS. So, that's normal.
You're so right.
Everything.
And then they will tell you in the next breath, don't assume it's MS. Get whatever's going on, get it checked out, go see your doctor. Just don't assume it's MS. I'm like, why? Because he's going to tell me it's MS.
Right. Everyone clings to that. Everything is because of MS. And maybe it is, but MS is just a virus. Every autoimmune disease out there is caused by the Epstein-Barr virus. So it's amazing that you took this time to share your story with people, so that if anyone is on the fence and they're having any, or maybe they've started this and they're declining because they're getting worse before they get better, to have this, to know what's on the other side, what's coming, whether it takes 2 weeks, 2 days, or maybe 2 months. Everybody is different, so everyone's timeline is going to be different, but this is the evidence that our brain needs so that we can keep going and move the needle and get through that threshold and start healing.
Stick with it.
Now, before we sign off, do you have any kind of signature sign off that you want to do? Say goodbye to people and say good luck. And only us will know. Everyone, thank you. Thank you for watching. Elizabeth, thank you for your time today. Stay with me. I'm going to stop recording now, and we'll chat a little bit more. But I just want to say thank you on behalf of everyone who's watching this, because I know how much they got out of it. Thank you for your time today and sharing your story.
Thank you.